Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I love the fact that this film approaches the future in kind of a dark way. And in some strange way, so many of these films, they feel like a different future, but this feels very much like it could be tomorrow.
Yeah, we didn't want to make it fully dystopian, but at the same time, it had to be a world that is difficult for these people to live in. With that being said, we also wanted it to feel very grounded and very relatable. And you look at these Boston Dynamics videos,
Right.
the robots, and you look at all the drone work out there. You're like, this is, not that far off.
It's not far off at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I love even seeing Connor seeing him use his abilities
Yeah.
to do work is something I don't think I've seen in a film like this ever.
Yeah, we when we set out to make the movie, we knew we wanted to make something we were fans of, but at the same time, we wanted to make something grounded and real and relatable. So this story of how far someone would go to save a loved one, something that we thought everyone could relate to, and then we wanted to take the sci-fi element and just give it our own little twist.
Right. And I do love, too, the idea how much depth you've taken from the short and added to this story now, that there's so much more to the world than even seem possible. It's remarkable.
Thanks. Yeah, the short we always looked at as a world builder and a proof of concept of like, give us your money and it'll look good. It won't look cheap. The world building process, Jeff Chan, who directed it and really captained the whole ship, and Chris Pare, they really built something cool that I want to see more of and hope that we get to make more of.
And I love that you speak to it as well, the fact that it feels like a film that had a much higher budget. The effects, everything feels way beyond what you guys had to work with.
Yeah, I mean, we had more money than we expected to have just because of how well the Indiegogo campaign went and working with Telefilm and Elevation. Right. But we didn't have nearly as much money as it looked like we did because nobody got paid on the movie.
Right.
We had unbelievably talented people working on it who really cared. Play Fight Visual Effects, who did the visual effects, are out of Toronto, and they're friends of ours, and they worked their asses off. Just hours and hours and hours. The amount of sweat equity in this movie is obscene. The difference is that there's a lot of movies, or not even movies, there's a lot of projects in the entertainment world where you'll see people coasting. And you can say that about any job in the world because, not every job is the same.
Right.
And sometimes it's a paycheck. Sometimes you don't like the people you're working with. Sometimes you're just having a bad day. We had awesome people who were excited to be at work every day and really cared about what they were putting together.
That's amazing. Well, speaking about Connor, did you walk away with something that stuck with you from him? Because I've often talked to actors who said, they were in a role that left them with something at the end. Would you say there was something from him? That might be a tough question, but...
No, I think there's a lot of me in Connor. Part of that is because Chris Pare writes so well for the way I speak. Part of it is working with my family.
Right.
And part of it is the relationship Connor has with his mom. Kari Matchett was the first audition tape I watched for my mom. And she reminds me so much of my real mom.
Really? That's amazing.
I texted Jeff. I'm like, that's her. She's the one. And I sent it to my mom, and my mom thought the same thing. She was just so good. She made my job easy. It was so easy for me to picture my mom lying there and to put myself in that position. I wouldn't say I walked away with anything from Connor, but I also don't think I'm done with him yet. I want to make more. I want to continue the story. So maybe after that.
That's cool. Well, working with your cousin, what's it like? Because you haven't really worked together that much.
Yeah, we had a scene together in Flash where we fought Reverse Flash, but didn't say anything to each other. It was great. You know, it was cool to see his process and just get to work with him and play off each other.
Especially because Garrett is an intense
Yeah.
frenemy or something else. He's certainly not a friend to Connor.
Yeah.
That must be fun to play with, someone that you actually know, to be like button heads, basically.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the other part that was great was we were our own bosses. So,
Right.
you know, we were able to massage and shape these scenes in the way that we felt worked best and was strongest for the film. But other than that, you know, just getting to hang out for 5 weeks was awesome. Like, you know, we hadn't spent that much time together in years.
Right. That's very cool. Well, last thing I'd like to know is certainly, do you have a dream that you imagine if you came back to this world where you'd like to see Connor, what you'd like to see him doing?
I'm not nearly a good enough writer to make that to answer that question. I think that you know, Jeff and Chris have already started thinking of the next step for Connor and Garrett and Code 8 as a whole. So hopefully the movie does well, and we can make that a reality.
So people need to go out and see it opening weekend, especially, right?
You know, opening weekend or video on demand.
Right.
You know, I don't go to the theaters much anymore, so I get it. You know, like, we wanted to make the movie as accessible as possible. So video on demand, iTunes, everywhere, December 13th. If you can see it in theaters, it's big, it's loud, and the visual effects are amazing. But at the same time, if you want to watch it at home, it's cold out. You have to leave your house.
It's a good time of year for it.
It's great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.